Good afternoon, everyone. We are here for a live news roundup. As one of the viewers was saying, we haven't done one of these in a while. So we're here to talk about some different news going on. We're going to take your comments on the air. And you can write to me during the broadcast at Lookner on Twitter. That's where you'd write. That's where you should write to me, at Lookner on Twitter. Yeah, we haven't done one of these in a little while, so we are going to do it. If you're watching on YouTube, you have found Agenda Free TV 2 on YouTube. So let's do it. Let's talk about some news. And hello to our viewers and hello to our moderators. We got Lizzie and Maria and Sarah55 and Sarah Joy all moderating in our YouTube chat. Very nice. We also have our Periscope and Facebook and Twitch moderators, and I want to open our make sure I got our chats open too so I can see you guys. We got Idaho Star. Hey, thanks Idaho Star for moderating in our Twitch chat. And thanks to Krista Borden's moderating in Facebook. Awesome. Hey, there's a tornado warning going on. No, tornado watch. So while we're on the air, we're going to keep an eye on this. I don't think there's any warnings yet. At this time, there was a warning a little earlier, but there's no warnings right at this time. There's a tornado watch, which means tornadoes are possible. A few tornadoes likely, it says. But this includes Memphis, Nashville, and Little Rock. That's until 10 p.m. Central Time. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on. I have the radar here. I have radar scope. There's no... It'll pop up if there's a tornado warning. There's no tornado warning right now. But that is something we're going to keep our eyes on. I wonder if I can find the... let me just get you like a national weather radar. Let's just do that. Just where we can see where the storms are. Here, this is going to be Wonder Map. Okay, so, right, there's Memphis there. There's Memphis. Why doesn't Little Rock park up? So basically, this is the storm system in here, right here, where that's what's causing the tornado watch. So we're going to keep our eye on this. So stay safe if you're in that area. I actually saw something about the watch here. Here it is. There it is. Tornado Watch 13. A few tornadoes likely. Widespread damaging winds likely with isolated significant gusts to 75 miles an hour possible. Isolated very large hail events to 2 inches in diameter possible. Damaging winds are the most likely threat, but large hail and a few tornadoes are also possible from the most organized storms. A tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes. When they actually see one, they actually, including on radar, they'll give a tornado warning. No, some people are mentioning President Trump. No, I'm not planning on saying anything about President Trump speaking because I already know what he's going to say. It's going to be some combination of I'm great, the Democrats are terrible, Biden's terrible, I'm great, X person who doesn't like me is terrible, person who loves me is great, very well might lie about the election and claim he won, which is false, very well might lie about the coronavirus and say it doesn't exist or it's not a problem or it's over, which is false. So why do that's not interesting to me. Commenting on him speaking when I know exactly what he's going to say, and a lot of it might very well be lies because he lies all the time. Why should I? I'm not really interested in that at all. I don't find that newsworthy. So no. So feel free. You can go watch it. That's your choice to watch it. But I don't see why I should comment on it. I find it totally uninteresting. He's just going to say the kind of stuff he's been saying for 4 years. Not particularly newsworthy to me. So no. So we will not be covering it. You can watch it a million other places. Yeah, it's agenda free. No agenda doesn't mean no opinion. You can have opinions. It's just a plain fact that he's going to say that he lies all the time. That's a fact. That's just an undoubtable fact. And that in all the speeches I've seen him give for years, he basically says the same thing. So unless something insane happens, it's entirely predictable what he's going to say. That's not newsworthy to me. So I don't see there's no agenda in that. There's no agenda in that. It's just an acceptance of obvious facts. Everything I just said about what he's going to say is just obvious. So there's no agenda in that, unless you think there's an agenda in accepting obvious truths. I mean, no matter whether you like them or not, you shouldn't have a problem with anything I just said. Everything I just said is just obvious. Yeah, right, exactly. Ron Borkin says, back to news. Let's get back to news. Okay, you know, I wanted to get an update on this. There were a couple stories that came out yesterday that I wanted to get updates on. What's going on with the person who was throwing Molotov cocktails at ambulances? Was there an update on that? Oh, they arrested the guy. Look. Man accused of throwing Molotov cocktails at Connecticut ambulances arrested in Pennsylvania. We got to read some more about this. Hang on a second here. I didn't know he was arrested. Oh, God, I didn't even see this. This was last night. The man accused of throwing Molotov cocktails at local ambulances had been arrested in Pennsylvania. This is from WFSB. All right, I'm going to retweet this because I didn't know he was arrested. From WFSB. I don't know if you heard about this story. Police have taken a suspect into custody after a multi-state manhunt Saturday. According to police, Richard White of Torrington is accused of throwing Molotov cocktails at several Hunters ambulances and ambulance buildings in Connecticut. State police said he was taken into custody last night on I-80 by Pennsylvania State Police. According to police, officers were called to Hunter's ambulance in Meridian, Connecticut to assist the fire's office with the investigation of an intentionally set fire. Officers spoke with employees who stated at approximately 10 a.m. a Hunter's ambulance employee by the name of Richard White was involved in a physical altercation with another employee. So was one of the employees the one who did this? That was following a disciplinary hearing that resulted in White being placed on administrative leave. At approximately 4:17 p.m., White allegedly arrived at Hunter's ambulance base and ignited... Oh, so it was like a disgruntled employee. He arrived at Hunter's ambulance and ignited a makeshift Molotov cocktail inside the employee room. Then he fled the scene. At approximately 5:02 p.m., White arrived at Hunter's ambulance on West Main Street in Meridian. The vehicle is seen approaching the ambulance holding bays. And then the occupant of the vehicle is seen throwing an already lit object out of the driver's side of the window. The Molotov cocktail strikes the building and the vehicle is seen accelerating from the scene. Then the police say the person also set 2 other fires. By the time Chief Wheeler arrived, there was smoke coming out of the ambulance bay. Oh, this was, I guess he set a fire at the firehouse. There was an automatic alarm at the firehouse. There was smoke coming out of the ambulance bay. So we got the fire trucks out, and then we pulled the ambulance out with one of the fire trucks because there was heavy smoke condition in that bay. And we got the ambulance away from the building. So basically, it sounds like this was an employee of an ambulance company, and he got in a physical altercation with another employee following a disciplinary hearing that resulted in him being placed on administrative leave. And then he started attacking the ambulance company's ambulances with Molotov cocktails. I didn't know he'd been arrested. I saw this story last night. Debbie Dawn says it happened in Connecticut. He fled to Pennsylvania. Jeff Haas says no wonder he was fired. Stuart Paul Newby says if he had made a mess and ignited himself, the ambulance people would have been the first people to have saved his worthless life. Well, I don't want to say worthless life, but it's pretty bad. Underdog Rising says people get desperate. They work for years at a career and then lose it all. Definitely a disturbed individual. Let's see here. There was actually a CNN story about this. I didn't even see this. Connecticut man accused of starting Molotov cocktail fires targeting ambulances. Oh, here's there's a Facebook post about this. Let's see this. Old Saybrook Fire Department. Old Saybrook police have obtained an arrest warrant for Richard White. Looks like he is 37 years old. He is the sole suspect in the arson fire started by a Molotov cocktail at the Hunter's Ambulance facility this afternoon. He is also connected to other arson fires started around the state this evening that targeted EMS agencies. He fled the state and was located in Pennsylvania. Plano says no one was hurt. Yeah, I didn't. From what I've seen, there are no injuries, fortunately. Thanks, by the way, to Mr. Showtime. Hey, I appreciate that, Mr. Showtime. Thank you. And thanks for shouting out the mods. And thanks also to Windy City Bobby. Thank you, Windy City Bobby, for the Super Hearts. No problem, Stuart. If you have comments, the place to write to me, or if you're seeing other news, is at Lookner on Twitter. Darren Thompson says he must have had previous behavioral issues. I do not know if he had previous behavioral issues. It'd be interesting if the guy had never done anything wrong and then all of a sudden he started throwing Molotov cocktails at ambulances. I Love Confetti says because he was angry. I wonder if there's any more about it, like you know, the articles don't get that we've seen don't get super into it. I'd love to know more information on this about the guy. Here. This is from NBC 10 Boston. Man who targeted at least 4 Connecticut EMS agencies with Molotov cocktails in custody. And it says, Richard White was arrested. He is an EMT, right? So he actually worked on ambulances, in ambulances. Yeah, Carol says he goofed up to get a disciplinarian. I'd be interested in knowing why he was disciplined. All right, so that happened. I wanted to mention that. I also wanted to mention the Montana car crash. That was crazy. That was, where is that? No, the stream isn't hidden, Lynn. It's not hidden. The new thing is people telling me the stream is hidden when it's not hidden. Look. Should be there. Hold on. I have to filter it. Right there. It's searchable. Comes right up in search. We'll see what happens to it, but it's not hidden right now. Oh, no, so I wanted to talk about the Montana. This was crazy. The Yellowstone Bridge incident. There was this big crash on a bridge in Montana yesterday. You can see, this is Montana Highway Patrol. This is yesterday. I-90 westbound is shut down starting at the I-94 split near Johnson Lane. Troopers are still investigating the cause of these crashes. So this was a bridge. You know, you remember there was the one in Fort Worth where 130 cars were involved in a pileup. This was not as many as that. But something what I didn't see, I retweeted this yesterday, but what I didn't see last night was this. I saw this extra thing here. Well, first of all, today's pileup involved approximately 30 vehicles, no fatalities. However, there are 2 people with critical injuries. The suspected cause of the crashes was ice on the Yellowstone River Bridge. But they said this crazy thing, which is here. We can confirm that 2 people jumped from the bridge during the incident to avoid being struck by a vehicle. They suffered serious injuries but are expected to recover. So 2 people jumped off this bridge. And I want to show you where this is. I want to get it on Google Maps. Yellowstone River Bridge. I assume this is it. No, I got to do it this way. Never works this way. Never works this way. Let's see. Is it here? That's I-94. That's Yellowstone River Bridge. I think this is it. Because if we go back here, it says Yellowstone Bridge incident. It says down here, I-90 westbound is starting at the I-94 split near Johnson Lane. Well, this is I-94. Where's 90? I don't know where 90 is. But anyways, I'm going to guess this. We'll compare it. We'll compare the picture. Here it is, Yellowstone River Bridge. So that would be the bridge. That doesn't give you a great feel for how high it is. Street view. Ooh, street view. Oh, there it is. Is this it? I think this might be it. So how high? So people jumped from the bridge. I mean, it's not insanely high. If you look here, there's pictures. That doesn't tell you how high the bridge is. There's a picture where you can tell how high the bridge is. Here it is. So 2 people had to jump from this bridge. I hear crickets said they probably landed on ice in the water. Well, that's what the water looked like. It looks like it was partially iced, and the water is freezing, said Diana. Carol says the 90 is an interstate highway right in the middle of Montana. Alex, if it's not in your notifications, you should make sure you have the notifications bell checked on AFTV2 and you've selected all notifications. You might want to check that. Okay, yeah, just a reminder about notifications. So if you're watching this channel on YouTube, you're watching Agenda Free TV 2. I actually have 2 channels on YouTube. Once in a while, I do stuff on the second channel. So first of all, if you're for Agenda Free TV 2, you need to make sure you click the bell and choose all notifications. There's this bell you need to click. Where is it here? Hold on a second here. So if you watch on YouTube, you got to click this bell and you got to choose all notifications, all, or you won't get all the notifications. Also, the best way to make sure you get notified for all of my broadcasts is to sign up for the free Discord notifications. That's the best way because those are the most reliable notifications. It's free. There's a link actually at the bottom of the YouTube video description for this broadcast, and our mods can post it as well. But it's just a free notifications thing we do through Discord. So that's really the best way to get the notifications set up. That's for both of the news channels. That covers both of them, and my personal channel. Matt says, "What was the rationale for the second channel?" I will direct you to the hour-long video about this on Agenda Free TV. I always get this question, but fortunately, I don't have to keep explaining it because there's a whole video about it. Look, introducing Agenda Free TV 2, second channel, more coverage. So if you want to know more about this channel, go to Agenda Free TV and watch the hour-long video where I talk about it. Matt says, "I don't know how to use Discord." Well, there is an email that the mods can post, which is a Discord email, a Discord help email. So if you're having problems setting up the notifications, one of the mods can post the email. Underdog Rising says, "These kind of accidents seem to be happening quite often." I don't know if they're happening more often than usual. I mean, I would assume when it's icy, they just happen. But I mean, this is 30 vehicles. And that Fort Worth one a while back was 130 vehicles. Then they said today, but again, this is like they said, we can confirm 2 people jumped from the bridge during the incident to avoid being struck by a vehicle. That's insane. They suffered serious injuries but are expected to recover. Then they said, this is today, due to the chaotic nature of this incident, we are not able to collect all this information. Please contact us as soon as possible with your information. I guess they didn't get information from everybody. Dave says, reminded me of the Fort Worth accident. Here's an article from a local news station. I believe it's local, KLU8. KULR8. A multi-vehicle crash. Blah, 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 blah. 30 vehicles involved. 2 people jumped from the bridge to avoid being hit by a car. Ooh, look, hold on, look at this. Look at this. KULR8. Initial reports from the Montana Highway Patrol said 2 people jumped from the bridge to avoid being hit by a car. However, the family of the individuals tells us they were thrown off by the impacts of the crashes. Maybe they didn't jump after all. Look at that. KULR8 says they talked to family who said the people didn't jump and they were thrown off by the impacts of the crashes. Leslie Swartz, who drove past the incident, told us they were not able to see any indication of the crash until they were almost at the Yellowstone River Bridge, adding the visibility was low. Then there's a GoFundMe. Grandma Joan. Gage and Celia managed to save the children in danger, but while in the act of heroism, tragedy hit and both Gage and Celia were thrown over the bridge and fell 60 feet to the frozen ground below. They are both critically injured and undergoing surgery at 2 different hospitals in Billings. Celia has a broken back, broken pelvic bone, broken ankle, and a lacerated kidney. Gage has a broken leg, fractured pelvis, fractured neck. Oh my gosh. Oh, Celia 19 and Gage 17 were involved in the accident and then both tried to save children whose vehicle was hanging over the bridge. This is literally the first time I've seen this. And I can't, I haven't done any background research on this GoFundMe. I just found the GoFundMe here in the KULR article. I can't confirm the story. I can just tell you that it was linked to here. I find the story believable. If they indeed fell 60 feet, I could certainly see these terrible injuries happening. But again, this is, if you want to read it, you can go to the KULR 8 story. Yeah, 60 feet, as Matt says, is a big drop. It's kind of hard to tell, if you look at this picture here, how high up it is. Oh, we need to get on the other bridge. Here's what I got to do. Can I get on this one? If I get on the other side, then we can look over now. Oh, actually, yeah, this gives you a sense of how high up it is. We need to see a car for perspective. But that is the Yellowstone River Bridge. I think this is it right here. It's a little confusing though. I'm assuming this is the right one because it says Yellowstone River Bridge. But this says Yellowstone River Bridge. 27th Street exit. Let me just make sure. Maybe there's multiple Yellowstone River bridges. No, it is. See, it says Fallon, Montana. That's the right one, Fallon, Montana. The article says Fallon, Montana, I think. Oh, it doesn't. It says Lockwood. Is Lockwood in the area? Let's see. I hope I haven't been showing you the wrong bridge. All right, there's Lockwood. Now Lockwood is on, there's the 90 and then the 94 is there too. There's 94 here. Near 27th Street exit, and that doesn't tell you where. It says I-90, Yellowstone River Bridge. I'm confused. Jeff says the accident happened on I-90, but I'm looking at the Yellowstone River Bridge. If you look up Yellowstone River Bridge, oh, maybe there's a different one. Yellowstone River. Where is the river? The whole stream is going to be me figuring out. There's the river. That's where the river crosses 94. Then does the river cross 90? Okay, I'm going. There's the bridge. And there's the river. Still parallel to 94. How about down here? Yellowstone River. We're getting close. Maybe is this it? Oh, maybe it's this one. Maybe there's a Yellowstone River and there's the 90. Is it this one? Maybe it's that one. But that is the river. It says Yellowstone River and it says 90. Let's see. Near exit 27th Street, near blah, blah, blah. Lauren says it happened about a mile west of exit 452. Let's see. Let's look up a different article. We're going to find this out. This is the NBC News article. Billings, Montana. That well, I just showed you the one we're looking at is right near. There's Billings right there, and there's the river. So I'm guessing this must be it. Bet it's this one. Sorry, guys. One of these bridges here. That's the one on I-90. Ooh, maybe it's this one. Because in the picture, don't we see this side of the bridge? Here, look. Let's see here. Hang on. Here's my profile. Montana Highway Patrol. See that picture? See, you have this barrier here. So maybe it's this one. So if this is the bridge, I mean, you can see, get a sense for how high it is. Wow. Jeff says that looks right. Denise says must be. I didn't realize it was so high up. The GoFundMe said 60 feet. Bill says you are at the east end of Billings. Anyways, that's a pretty bad story. But best I can tell, that's it. That is it. Give me a shout if you have thoughts. At Lookner on Twitter. Thoughts with the people who were injured. Some people were seriously injured. Helene Bemis says the accidents are never pretty. Terry Stacy says, I think each story of a building is what, 12 to 14 feet? That would make it 5 stories high. Shaggy says, barely a barrier. Yeah, in terms of how high barriers are on these roads, I mean, I'm sure there's costs and benefits to making them higher. I can't tell you what those are, but, you know, someone was saying, one of our viewers was saying they should have a higher barrier. I mean, there's certainly benefits to have a higher barrier, but I assume there's costs. I don't know if it's like expensive to maybe have a higher barrier. Maybe a higher barrier requires more maintenance or something. Oh, tornado warning for Little Rock? Is that true? Hang on. There's a tornado warning in Arkansas. I'm not seeing Little Rock in there, but it is Arkansas. Hold on. This is Arkansas right here. If I zoom out, this is southwest of Little Rock. It's southwest of Little Rock. There's Little Rock right there. It's southwest of Little Rock is where this is. And, ooh, this could be a tornado right now. Look at this. That could be a tornado right there. See the green and the red? That looks like that's what you're looking for. You're looking for bright green and bright red next to each other because this is the velocity radar. That means that wind is going in opposite directions right next to each other, which is what you'd have in a tornado. It kind of looks like it because you have right in there. I'm not sure, but that could be a tornado. It's not directly over any town named right now. town named on the map. Any debris? Look on the left to see if there's any debris. You're looking for like a blue round ball here. I don't really see it though, so. I'll see if I can find you anything about that. Lauren says it's a gorgeous part of the country in the Yellowstone River, Montana. Let me see if I can find you an update here. Here, look, right here. Tornado warning continues for Arkadelphia, Caddo Valley, Midway until 5 p.m. That's the one we were just looking at. Radar indicated tornado. And then hang on. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I mean, what you're looking for on the tornado radar, on the right, you're looking for bright green and bright red next to each other, because that means wind is going in different directions right next to each other. So we have that, but what you're not seeing on the left is that on the left you're looking for a hook shape, a hook echo, because if you have a hook shape like this, this is the rain. So you're looking for a hook shape in the rain because that means that the wind is bending the rain around in a hook. But I'm not really seeing a hook shape here. Although it could be, I mean, sometimes you don't see the hook shape because there's so much rain going on, so the hook gets buried in the other rain, it gets lost in all the other rainfall. But this could be a tornado. It's not looking as clean right now, though. You're kind of looking for this very clear, like yin-yang kind of thing going on. I mean, it's clearly stormy weather here, but I'll keep you posted. Casimira is getting her vaccine. I think that's great. On Tuesday. There is a tornado watch for the area until 11 Eastern time. Hey, thanks, by the way, to Angel Shark. I appreciate that, Angel Shark. Thanks for your support. Thank you. Oh, Raj is here. All right, so that's something we'll keep an eye on. Tammy's mom got her second shot today. Very nice. JA and PD said, depending on the height of the bridge, the ice can have a reaction to falls like concrete if the ice is thick enough. Well, that made me think, JA and PD, if you were with us when we covered so as we were just discussing, there was an accident on this big accident of 30 cars yesterday on this bridge in Montana. But when we covered the Fort Worth bridge accident, we talked about how bridges ice over faster than like a normal road because they have nothing underneath them. So the air, they cool faster. they cool faster because there's no warmth underneath from the ground. So you can have a situation where, like, there might be no ice on the road here, but suddenly people get to the bridge and then there's ice. That can happen. The Fort Worth accident was on an elevated roadway with nothing underneath it. So my guess is that since the big pileup happened on the bridge, my guess would be that, it wasn't icy leading up to it, and then people got there and it was icy. Asymptomatic says cold on the bottom and the top. Hey, thanks, Brad R. That's very kind of you, Brad R. And I appreciate you shouting out to the mods, Brad R. Thank you, Brad. Lynn Smith's dad is getting the vaccine tomorrow. I Love Confetti messaged me about the Gulf Stream changes due to fresh water melt. I don't even know what that is. I don't even see a recent article about it. Do you have an article about it? Oh, is this it? Financial Times. Gulf Stream system at weakest in a millennium due to climate change. Major studies detect major changes in ocean current that carries warm water to Europe and influences storms. Financial Times, the Gulf Stream system has weakened to its slowest pace in more than 1,000 years as global warming makes the powerful ocean current that controls much of the Atlantic Ocean slow down. Two studies published this week, reveal climate change is slowing down the ocean current, which carries warm water to Europe more dramatically than previously expected. Okay. This expert said this was starting to affect weather patterns, such as more frequent heat waves in southern Europe. Other scientists have pointed out that there was still a high degree of uncertainty about how the Gulf Stream influences European weather. Anyways, I know nothing about this. This is the first time hearing about this. You can find other articles about it. This is a recent one. This is from 3 days ago. Here's an article from 3 days ago from Irish Times. Gulf Stream lifeline at its weakest in more than a millennium. The Gulf Stream, well, there it says Gulf Stream. There's the US, Europe. This says the Gulf Stream in the North Atlantic Ocean, which has a considerable effect on Ireland's climate, is at its weakest in over a millennium. Human-caused global warming is the most likely cause. International team of scientists has found. A further slowdown of the Gulf Stream could imply more extreme weather events in Europe. This could manifest as winter storms coming off the Atlantic, possibly intensifying them. Other studies found the possibility increases the potential for extreme heat waves or reductions in summer rainfall as a consequence. Anyways, it's interesting. I didn't know anything about this. You can look at those two articles to hear more. Montpelier says Gulf Stream keeps England warm. Montpelier says, I have read about the Gulf Stream in news in quite a few publications. By the way, about the bridge story, our viewer Unserkind said, here in Europe, any bridge above certain height has mandatory guardrails, etc. Thank you for writing in about that. Oh, somebody also, our viewer also suggested talking about the Cuomo story. I haven't really been covering it much. I don't really spend lots of time covering like sexual harassment allegation stories, generally speaking. You know, I keep an eye out, but there's a bunch of them around, so I'm not saying they're not important. It's just something I don't usually spend much time. You have to pick and choose what you cover, so, you know. But anyways. A couple of people who've worked for Governor Cuomo in New York have accused him of sexual harassment, so looks like it's going to be investigating. So it's going to be investigation. Again, it's just, you know, Governor Cuomo on Sunday retreated from his plan to have a former federal judge who has close ties to one of the governor's closest allies investigate sexual harassment claims against him. Mr. Cuomo said he would ask New York's Attorney General and the chief judge on New York State Highest Court to jointly pick someone to investigate sexual harassment accusations lodged by two women who worked in the Cuomo administration. You know, Cuomo is such like a, also with Cuomo, he's such like a political hot button figure, you know? So whenever his name comes up, you get people who want to talk about it just because they hate the other side in politics. And it gets all politicized, which I don't really like covering. It's kind of like it's like the popular thing to cover now. So you know, I'm keeping an eye on it, but there's plenty of articles out there if you want to get the details. Plano says it's important, I believe the women. Yeah, I'm not, certainly important to, you know, investigate these kind of allegations. I certainly agree with that. It's just we don't cover, most stories we don't cover. Yeah, and Miss Sal mentioned that Israel attacked Syria today. You know, again, this is something that happens all the time. I don't generally cover it. Periodically, every couple months, Israel will launch airstrikes on Syria. A lot of the time, it's because like there's Iranian interests in Syria and Israel's concerned about them. So I generally don't report on it. It's not really anything new. You know, you can find articles out about it. There's this question about whether they did it today because Tehran attacked an Israeli ship, I think like last week or something. But, you know, there's articles out there about it. That's from Times of Israel. But this kind of stuff happens a lot. Ugh. Debbie Dawn says, a break from politics is nice for a change. We've been drowning in it. Yeah, it's just when stories get too like politicized, it's just like not pleasant to me to cover them. Oh, and speaking of Cuomo, Cuomo just released an apology statement. if you care. Bernadette Hogan posted this. She's a reporter. Statement from Governor Cuomo. I never intended to offend anyone or cause any harm. At work, sometimes I think I'm being playful and make jokes. I have teased people about their personal lives, their relationships, about getting married or not getting married. I mean no offense and only attempt to add some levity and banter to what is very serious business. I understand now my interactions may have been insensitive or too personal, and some of my comments made others feel in ways I never intended. To the extent anyone felt that way, I'm truly sorry about that. I never inappropriately touched anybody, and I never propositioned anybody, and I never intended to make anyone feel uncomfortable, but these are allegations that New Yorkers deserve answers to. Yeah, anyways, you can reach the statement. That just came out. That just came out. Stray Bull says, I agree on the politics stuff. We've been drowning in it the past couple of years. Stray Bull thinks he's going to resign. I don't think that'll happen unless... I'm sure he doesn't want to resign. So I think something new would have to happen for that to happen. Oh, speaking of tornadoes, Reed Timmer posted about the tornadoes. See, we were just talking about this. Reed Timmer says, tornado-warned supercell with a broad rotation is now just east of Caddo Valley, Arkansas. Supercell embedded within the line. Even if no tornado, there will likely be particularly damaging winds with this thing. Rhonda says 15,000 deaths goes way past political. But the thing with the deaths, no one said it's not like they didn't announce deaths. They just didn't. The idea was that a certain amount of deaths came from nursing homes, and initially they weren't forthright about where the deaths were coming from. Right? I haven't heard that it was like, oh, they didn't announce that anyone died, and then it was like, oh, by the way, 15,000 people died that you didn't know about. That's my understanding. But again, that whole story has become so politicized right now. E.A. Novak says he better not resign. That's what E.A. Novak says. Oh, we should talk about what's going on in Myanmar. Ken Picky says, ugh, politics. Terry Stacy said, I heard him answer the question in one of his, several of his press conferences, and he explained where those deaths were coming from. Well, but didn't, his administration admitted that they weren't fully transparent about where the deaths were. I see if I can find a summary of it, because I don't remember all the details. I can probably find you a simple summary. Here, look, The Economist. The state's attorney general and a close ally of Mr. Cuomo released a report saying the Cuomo administration had understated the number of COVID-related deaths in state nursing homes by as much as 50%. It also revealed a state directive requiring the admission of COVID-19 patients to homes may have put residents at risk. And then Cuomo's top aide on February 11th, it was reported that Cuomo's top aide privately apologized to lawmakers for withholding the nursing home death toll that he began. And according to the newspaper, the aide said the administration froze because they did not want the then President Donald Trump to turn this into a giant political football. Blah, 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 blah. So that's the idea. But I don't know all the background of the stuff. The stuff about when the state was telling nursing homes to take people who had tested positive, is that what it is? That wasn't like literally just him doing that. Like he said that was like based on recommendations. And also the reason that was done was I think to keep the hospitals from getting overwhelmed. That's what they were worried about. So it's not like he literally just said, I want to kill old people. State directive requiring the admission of COVID-19 patients to nursing homes.
Office intentionally.
Hold on a second here. See, look. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but like NBC New York, critics have long argued there were many other places the patients, here it is right here. The Cuomo administration's March 25th directive last year barred nursing homes from refusing people just because they had COVID-19. It was intended to free up space in hospitals swamped in the early days of the pandemic. It came under criticism for advocates for nursing home residents and their relatives who said it had the potential to spread the virus. Critics have long argued there were many other places those patients could have been sent, including New York City's Jacob Javits Convention Center and the USS Comfort. The state contends those facilities were not suitable substitutes for the care of nursing homes. Then Cuomo reversed the directive on May 10th, barring nursing homes from accepting COVID-19 patients without a negative test first. So look, I mean, I'm not familiar with all the details on it, but it's not like Cuomo said, I hate old people, let's just send COVID-19 positive people to nursing homes for no reason. The reason they did it was because they were worried about not having enough space in the hospitals. So I don't know enough details about all of what was going on there to really intelligently comment on this, but, you know, it's not like it was, just to be clear, it's not like it was just like, oh, we don't like old people, let's send COVID-19 patients to nursing homes. That wasn't the idea. Diana L. says, you have to remember that this occurred in the beginning when NYC saw the worst of this and the government was saying it was nothing to worry about. Yeah, so to really intelligently comment on this, I'd have to have a lot more background knowledge that I just don't have. I don't really feel comfortable having a strong take on this without really researching it. Ann M. says deaths were counted but not identified as nursing home deaths. Mark Ryman says Cuomo is in big trouble. Lou Sassol says only 5 governors sent COVID patients to nursing homes. I can't confirm that. I don't know. A guy says, didn't I watch a 3-hour session on Cruz going to Cancun? No. What you watched was a story, as I've said repeatedly, which was about the internet mystery of whether he had gone there or not. As I have said before in my broadcasts, the point of the broadcast we did on the Ted Cruz story was not that Ted Cruz went to Cancun, because at the time we didn't know if he had gone to Cancun. The reason we did the broadcast was it was a fun internet story where the internet was blowing up with these pictures trying to figure out whether he went or not. But because some people get offended about everything and they're so politically minded and they're so ready to get angry about anything political that doesn't agree with everything they believe, that we had to waste all this time on what should have been just a fun, pleasant stream that anyone of any political persuasion could have enjoyed, had to waste it on people yelling about how this was not news and we shouldn't be covering it, and claiming that I was covering him going to Cancun because I didn't like Ted Cruz, when in fact that wasn't the point of the stream at all. A guy says, okay, it wasn't political, gotcha. I mean, I said before, if the story had just come out, Ted Cruz went to Cancun, we would not have done a stream on it. If you actually watch the stream, if you actually watch that stream, I don't think I spent any time saying Cruz is a bad person for going to Cancun. It was just an accepted presence that probably that would not be appropriate. But what we were talking about is, did he go or didn't he? The stream was called, Did He Go to Cancun? But people just kept getting angry, as they always do, and misinterpreting what you say and politicizing everything. See, Michelle Sparks says, everything is political now, it sucks. By the way, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will start getting delivered on Tuesday. Zeke Miller says, White House says about 4 million doses of Johnson & Johnson vaccine will start shipping tonight with first deliveries Tuesday. No new vaccine will ship next week. Johnson & Johnson is still expected to deliver 20 million doses by the end of March. We did a whole stream on this on Agenda Free TV, if you didn't see it yesterday. We did a whole stream on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which you can watch. Johnson & Johnson vaccine approved. Hey, I want to say a quick thank you to our viewer, Carlene. I see your note, Carlene. I'll respond to you after, but first of all, thank you, Carlene, for your support. I really appreciate that. Second of all, so periodically I get people who write in and say, and it can happen, oh, I was like banned from the chat and I think it was a mistake. Once in a while, it's a mistake. By the way, there was last night, actually, I accidentally hid somebody from YouTube. It was complete accident. And I actually posted on the Johnson & Johnson video, I posted a note in my comment and I said, hey, if somebody was accidentally hidden, let us know. So what the mods can do is there's an email you can write to if you feel you were accidentally hidden or if you feel you would like a second chance. But that email, it depends on what platform you're watching. So on YouTube, it's going to be aftvcomplaints@gmail. Is that what it is? One of the mods can say it. I believe on YouTube it's aftvcomplaints@gmail.com. But yeah, the thing to do is just ask the moderators for the complaints email. And if you write to them, you can just say, hey, this is my username. I think I was accidentally hidden. And then they'll be happy to help you. So the YouTube one is aftvcomplaints@gmail.com. So write to them And then if you want, if it's another platform, ask the moderators there. But write to the moderators, and then they can help with it. I'll respond to Carlene a little later. That's what I'll say, though. But thank you, Carlene. I really appreciate your support. Thank you. I was going to talk about Myanmar. We should talk about that. We should talk about that. Hang on, I have too many things open on my desktop here. Too much open on my desktop. All right, let's talk about that. Our viewer Ellie Bourne got her first shot yesterday. Nice, Ellie Bourne. We might do a Myanmar stream at some point. It's a little weird. So in Myanmar, there's a coup that happened in Myanmar where the democratically elected government in Myanmar in Southeast Asia was overthrown by the military. I want to say that was a few weeks ago. Myanmar is also called Burma, same thing. But last night, so there's been these protests there for the last couple weeks. And then last night at a bunch of places in Myanmar, the military actually fired on protesters. I know Reuters had a report last night that 7 protesters had been killed. I've seen some really terrible photographs. There's photographs of people who were shot and killed. So it was by far the bloodiest day last night, or it wasn't last night, it was today. It was Sunday. Their time zone is ahead of the United States. But it was really bad there during the day. It's a bit hard to cover live that kind of event because, first of all, I can't show video of or like photos of people of dead bodies. That just violates terms of service. I can't do it. And strictly speaking, I can't even show the military firing at people. It's hard to get information from out of there because the information flow I know is controlled. They've been shutting off the internet at night there, but even during the day, I haven't seen many. There were more live streams a couple weeks ago. I was checking earlier for live streams from there, and I couldn't really find them. So, and then there's some accounts I follow that post news from there, but my take is that the accounts try to be reliable, but I don't like to. If you have if all your news sources are news sources that are pro-protester, I'd like to at least have some people on the other side or non-pro-protester accounts giving their side of the story, which I don't really have. So it's a bit hard to cover video-wise. We might do a stream on it at some point. But I was following it last night and I was tweeting about it. But it's very concerning what's going on there. Lynn Smith says, yes, I am keeping track of it. Very sad. It was bad there. There was a lot of, around the country in different cities, there were military firing on protesters. Oh, here, look, 18 people now I'm seeing reported. Is this total or yesterday? Wow, it went up to 18. At least 18 killed. Oh, no, yeah, at least 18 killed by Myanmar security forces in deadliest day since coup. This I did not know. I'm going to have to post this. 18 people. At least 18 Myanmar protesters killed on Sunday, says UN Human Rights Office. That's from Matthew Tostovan. He's with Reuters. This is NPR. 1 week ago, Myanmar military forces warned pro-democracy protesters that if their demonstrations continued, there would be further loss of life. The military has made good on its threat. Sunday was the bloodiest day in Myanmar since a military junta seized power there 1 month ago. According to the UN Human Rights Office, at least 18 people were killed and more than 30 wounded after security forces fired live ammunition into crowds of peaceful demonstrators in several cities across the country. Yeah, I haven't seen any kind of evidence that like demonstrators are firing at the armed forces. In addition to live rounds, police also used tear gas to disperse thousands of protesters in major cities. Gruesome images widely shared on social media showed people running for cover as victims lay bleeding on the ground. I saw a number of photos and video of victims. There was like a video, I know, including women. It's not all just guys. I saw several photos of women who'd been shot, which looked legit. They were posted in a lot of different places, and like people with like their brains hanging out and stuff. It was disgusting. One of the victims was an internet network engineer. Another Yangon victim was killed after being shot in the eye. A middle school teacher reportedly died from a heart attack after a police stun grenade went off nearby. In Mandalay, a man riding a motorbike was killed when a bullet pierced his helmet. The military also detained at least 85 medical personnel and students and 7 journalists. The UN says since the beginning of the coup, more than 1,000 people have been arbitrarily arrested. They for a couple weeks now, every night they shut down the internet. I don't know why they only shut it down at night. The civilian leader of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, has not been seen since she was detained on February 1st. I want to say since the 50s or 60s, Myanmar was run by the military, and then there were democratic reforms. I think in 2011, they started having an elected government, not a military government. And under the new system, the military still had a lot of power, but the military allied candidates did not do well in the most recent election. And as the new parliament was about to be seated a few weeks ago, the military took over the country. It's really bad, though. Military crackdown in Myanmar escalates with killing of protesters, New York Times. At least 18 people were killed. In a violent escalation of the junta's efforts to suppress weeks of mass protests against its month-old coup. Videos and photographs captured images of bodies in the street and people running from the police as tear gas and smoke filled the air. The sheer ferocity of Sunday's crackdown, soldiers appeared to shoot at unarmed people at random and rounded up groups of demonstrators before marches could begin, drew sharp rebukes internationally. The demonstrations and civil disobedience movement have challenged the primacy of a military primacy or primacy? Primacy of a military notorious for its brutality, after having crushed democracy movements in 1988 and 2007 by shooting protesters. In the southern city of Dawei, the police opened fire on a crowd of hundreds. Witnesses told the New York Times at least 3 people were killed and more than 50 wounded. Before Sunday, just 3 deaths at the hands of the security forces had been widely reported. But there were 18 yesterday, or today. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Melissa McQueen says, I imagine the military is comprised of citizens. Kind of amazing this would happen. Underdog Rising says, military coups don't hardly ever go well. History is covered with examples of this. I don't know what's going to happen there. I haven't read any analysis since yesterday of or since earlier today of does this change anything? It's really bad though. Audrey Hoffman Burbank says, awful. Nicholas Geese says, unreal. You can give me a shout at Lookner on Twitter. So we'll keep an eye. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. Zalop says sad. Hey, quick thanks to our moderators, by the way. We got Sarah55 modding. Maria B is modding. Melissa Alicia, thank you. Kin Picky, Tariag, Idaho Star, Ellie Bourne. Krista Borden. Josh, I spoke about the sexual harassment claims. We spoke about it against Cuomo. It's hard with the Myanmar stuff because, I'm certainly not, I don't have any kind of detailed knowledge of the domestic situation there. And so, when you read the articles about it, they do the best they can. Most of the articles talk about what happened, but they don't really give you kind of more detailed analysis. I should probably try to do some research this afternoon, see if I can dig up anything with a little more detailed, rather than just explaining what happened yesterday. more of a detailed analysis of saying, does yesterday change anything? What might happen there? Yeah, see, here's a little summary from BBC. The country gained independence from Britain in 1948. It was ruled by the armed forces from 1962 until 2011, when a new government began ushering in a return to civilian rule. The military seized control on February 1st following a general election in which Ms. Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy party won by a landslide. The armed forces, who had backed the opposition, were demanding a rerun of the vote, claiming widespread fraud. The Election Commission said there was no evidence to support these claims. The coup took place as a new session of a parliament was set to open. And 54 million people live there. All right, give me a shout at Lookner on Twitter. Let me know what you have to say. Montpelier says, with never completely civilian control. Yeah, I had mentioned that even recently, the military still had a lot of power in the government there. But that's a big, I mean, this was what happened earlier today. There was like this, it's again, only a few people had died so far in the several weeks of protests. And then 18 people were killed by the military yesterday. So that's a situation I am keeping an eye on. Some people are writing to me about Ethiopia. I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Is this it? Hey, by the way, thanks to Kay Gebhardt. I really appreciate that. Kay Gebhardt, thanks for your support. Kay Gebhardt. Oh, I think Kay Gebhardt already donated also. Kay Gebhardt, are you back now? Is that what happened? You had mentioned before that you might have gotten accidentally hidden. Oh, on the Lookner channel. I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's a. All right, hold on a second. So this is specifically to Kay Gebhardt, but also not that many people are watching right now. So this is certainly not all of the usual audience is watching for Agenda Free TV. But let me say this in case you're wondering about it. So there's this issue right now that I am getting YouTube to help me with, which is that what happens is if somebody gets banned on YouTube, and on the other platforms as well, but on YouTube specifically, there's a list of banned users. So if somebody gets accidentally hidden/banned, and then we want to undo it, what I would normally do is go to the list of people, and I would just find your name on the list and take you off the list. For Agenda Free TV, that list is not working right now. So for the other channels it is. But for Agenda Free TV on YouTube, if you get banned on YouTube, it might take a little bit to unban you, because currently that functionality for that channel is broken. So I am talking to them about that. But for Lookner and AFTV2, it's fine. Anyways, I'll look into it after, but... Again, if you have a question about that kind of thing, the mods can give you an email address to write to. Now, some people had mentioned Ethiopia to me. I'm guessing they're talking about this. Politico, U.S. is gravely concerned by reports of abuses in Ethiopia. Accounts of atrocities by Ethiopian forces have alarmed the world. The U.S. is gravely concerned by reported atrocities and the overall deteriorating situation in Ethiopia's Tigray region. Accounts of Ethiopian atrocities by Ethiopian forces against residents of the country's northwestern region of Tigray were detailed in reports by the AP and Amnesty International. Is this what people were messaging me about? Or is there something else that people were messaging me about? Cheryl says 300 girls were kidnapped there. Wasn't that like last week or something? There's this article from today, U.S. gravely concerned by Ethiopia massacre of many hundreds described in Amnesty report. Soldiers from Eritrea systematically killed many hundreds of people, the large majority men, in a massacre in late November. Amnesty International said Friday. Is that what people are writing to me about? Hold on a second here. If there's something else, let me know. Ryder, we got another person. Ryder says, what is agenda-free TV 2? I keep getting this question. Again, I will direct you to an hour-long video on agenda-free TV, introducing agenda-free TV 2 second channel more coverage. There's a whole video about it you can watch on agenda-free TV. An hour-long video. Seize the Day says, the girl kidnapping makes my stomach sick. That's not Ethiopia, though, is it? This is Nigeria. Dozens of kidnapped Nigerian students freed, hundreds of others still missing. That's from NPR yesterday. Nigerian school children have increasingly become the targets of armed gunmen who kidnap them in the hopes of securing large ransoms. Oh, this thing Joanne Gabrielle sent me about, this was in Wichita, right? There was more information about this. It's in Wichita, Kansas, ABC News. 3 cops injured in possible explosion after being called to search vacant home. The Wichita police came out and they said it was like a shotgun that went off. Here is the news release regarding the incident last night. This is from Wichita Police. On February 27th, patrol officers were dispatched to a residence in the 1400 block of South St. Francis in Wichita. A homeowner had called 911 to report they had discovered damage to a vacant home they owned, and they believed someone might be inside. Upon arrival, officers obtained keys from the homeowner and attempted to check the residence to ensure no one was inside. After entering the front door of the residence, officers reported hearing an explosion and 3 officers sustained injuries. One of the officers has been released from the hospital, while 2 remain in the hospital, one with minor injuries and another in a serious but stable condition. The investigation revealed that no one was inside the home, but someone had left a modified loaded shotgun in the residence, which discharged as the officers made entry. I don't know if that was why did the gun go off when the police entered? Was it something that was like some kind of trap set to go off, or did it just accidentally go off? I don't know. It doesn't say here. Yeah, Wichita police wounded by shotgun. Yeah, Officer Trevor Macy told CNN investigators are still looking into what caused the shotgun to be triggered. Yeah, I don't know if it was a booby trap or whatever it was, I don't know. Shaggy says the string on the trigger trick. Yeah, I would think that'd be pretty hard to set up. I don't know, but I would think that that'd be quite involved to set that up to work like that. But why else would it go off? I do not know. Unzerkind says in Spain they booby trap vacation homes to secure from looting. Ellie Bourne says, my guess is triggered by door opening. Sharon says the Nigeria kidnappings were horribly tragic. Oh, thanks so much, by the way, Janet McLaughlin, for the Facebook stars. That's very kind of you. Janet McLaughlin, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, Stuart Paul Newby sent me this article here. And it says down here, from WKMBC News. Police spokesman officer Trevor Macy told the Wichita Eagle investigators are trying to determine whether the shotgun had been rigged to fire when the officers entered. Apparently there were several modifications made to this one, Macy said. Maybe it was. Underdog Rising says you can even buy the traps online. Super illegal, though. Our viewer Asta messaged about the recent earthquakes in Iceland. There's been a bunch of them there. I think they've been aftershocks of this one. Magnitude 5.6 earthquake. This was February 24th. Volcano discovery from yesterday, or from today. Continuing quakes as the tectonic plates splitting Iceland move. The recent 4.7 quake, which occurred 29 kilometers south of Reykjavik, was only one of the quakes, which exceeded 4.0, blah, 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 blah. Since the 5.7 on February 24th, they have recorded 20 plus quakes above magnitude 4 and 100 plus above magnitude 3. The IMO stated that these seismic activities are part of the ongoing volcano tectonic reactivation of the Reykjanes Peninsula. That's from Volcano Discovery. Our viewer Asta Bjornsdottir said that they could feel them. Asta said, I live in Hafnarfjordur and we feel these earth movements very well. I went to Iceland. I visited there years ago. It was really cool. Hang on one sec here. Give me a shout at Lookner if you have comments, questions. You're hearing more at Lookner on Twitter. I'm also checking for updates as well. Yeah, and we were talking about the Myanmar coup before, so this is from today. Myanmar has entered a second month of internet disruptions targeting anti-coup and pro-democracy protests as casualty figures rise. Live network data show internet shutdown in effect as of 1 a.m. time for the 15th consecutive night. So for 15 straight nights in Myanmar, they've just shut down the internet in the country. I wonder if this is to prevent like protesters from planning protests. This is from NetBlocks. But they shut them at night and then it starts working during the day. This is the NetBlocks blog on it. Let's see here. Myanmar is in the midst of a 15th night under internet curfew from 1 a.m. local time, entering a second month of network disruptions targeting the country's swelling anti-coup movement. Myanmar has about 50 million people. In case you missed it, we actually spent a bunch of time earlier on this stream talking about the Myanmar coup and protests, and we were talking about how 18 people were killed. The military fired at protesters today in Myanmar, and 18 people were killed. By far the most people who'd been killed since the coup on February 1st. Rage King says, I have a friend there. She is only able to get online occasionally. She said they are shooting protesters in the streets. Awful. Yeah, 18 people got killed today. 18 people got killed. No, we've also been talking, just checking on this, but no more tornado warnings that I've heard of. Tornado watch going on, which we're keeping an eye on in the middle of the country. Boo Boo Nene says over 30 killed since 1st of February. So awful. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, one article we read said that there had been either 3 or 5 killed before today, and there were 18 killed today. Let's see here. Lou Sassel says they're probably turning off the internet to stop night protests. Don't watch to damage daily businesses. But I mean, the internet's being shut off, from what I understand, starting at 1 a.m. every night. Were people protesting after 1 a.m.? So again, we may do a stream on that at some point. I will be keeping an eye on it. But it's certainly quite concerning. Oh, what's going on with Bitcoin? Bitcoin went down a bit. We didn't mention that. Oh, now it's at 45,000. It was down to like 43,000. Bitcoin back in even October was around 11,000. Now it is at 45,000. But this is from CoinDesk. It had gone up to about 58,000, and now it's at 45,000. So it's been going crazy. So I've been checking as to what's going on with this. You can see that right there is about a week ago. Here, look. Bitcoin is on track for its worst weekly drop in nearly a year, but it has gone up so much. That's from Fortune. Bitcoin's rally has hit a speed bump. Detractors have maintained that the digital asset surge is a speculative bubble and it's destined for a repeat of the 2017 boom and bust. Why is it going crazy? It's just not clear. There's many people out there who believe it's just like a speculative bubble, that people are buying it because they think it's going to keep going up. In theory, it's supposed to be like this alternate currency, but there's these major problems that keep it from actually being used as an alternate currency. One problem is that the system on which Bitcoin is built makes it so that only a certain amount of transactions can be processed at a given time. So the system on when it's built just won't allow it to process transactions to be quickly enough if it starts becoming more widely used. Also, the value of it doesn't really stay stable. So, like, I can't imagine if the value is really changing from week to week. That's not the kind of thing you'd want to use for a currency. Why? Because if you had some Bitcoin and you thought that the value of it's going to go way up in a week, you're not going to want to buy anything with it. You're going to want to just hold on to it. Imagine if the value of the dollar just varied greatly from week to week. If you thought it was going to go up, you wouldn't want to buy anything with it. And if you thought it was going to go down, you wouldn't want to accept it. There's that problem, and then also there's Bitcoin transactions have significant transaction fees. There's all these reasons that to support that it will not become a widely adopted currency. But if that's not going to be the case, then you ask, well, what is it for? Some people say, well, it's like gold. It's an alternate place for people to put their money that holds its value. Anyways, though, so there's a lot of debate about Bitcoin out there, but you can find a number of people, economists and analysts, who they think it's just a bubble, that it's just people investing in it because they think other people are going to invest in it and the price is going to go up. Starfire 3 says, my landlord won't let me pay rent in Bitcoin. Oh, Underdog Rising points out the power consumption. Yeah, so without getting too technical, the way the Bitcoin functions, the way transactions are validated. So one idea of Bitcoin, it's supposed to be a currency, but nobody's overseeing it. It's just set up in a way that it can function with no one overseeing it, and that's because of the computer programming underlying it. But what happens is the way there's constantly a register that's updated of every single Bitcoin transaction that will prove who owns which Bitcoin. And the way that transaction register gets updated, it's called the blockchain. The way it gets updated is that different computers solve different, basically computers have to solve mathematical problems, and that allows the ledger to get updated. So for a transaction to go through, the ledger has to get updated. For the ledger has to get updated, you need computers to work hard to solve these math problems. That's also the way that new Bitcoin gets created. But basically what happens is Bitcoin, for it to function, you need lots of computer power constantly working to solve these mathematical equations, and it uses up a lot of power. But some people invest in this. They just buy computers and they invest in it to perform these mathematical calculations, because as a reward for doing this work for the Bitcoin system, you get Bitcoin. But it does use a lot of power, and so some people think that regulators are going to start cracking down on Bitcoin more because they feel that like it's costing, it's going to have a harmful effect on the environment. You can find articles about this. BBC News, Bitcoin consumes more electricity than Argentina. Bitcoin uses more electricity annually than the whole of Argentina, analysis by Cambridge University suggests. Mining for the cryptocurrency is power hungry, involving heavy computer calculations to verify transactions. As the price of Bitcoin increases, so does the energy consumption, according to a researcher at the Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance. It is really by design that Bitcoin consumes that much electricity, he said. This is not something that will change in the future unless the Bitcoin price is going to significantly go down. In order to mine Bitcoin, computers, often specialized ones, are connected to the cryptocurrency network. They have the job of verifying transactions made by people who send or receive Bitcoin. This process involves solving puzzles, which provide a hurdle to ensure that no one fraudulently edits the global record of all transactions. As a reward, the Bitcoin miners occasionally receive small amounts of Bitcoin. To increase profits, people often connect large numbers of Bitcoin miners, computers, to the network, even entire warehouses full of them. That uses lots of electricity. Winnie Pogo says NVIDIA limits crypto mining on its new graphics card. Are the graphics cards used for crypto mining? PC Gamer. NVIDIA says its cryptocurrency mining limiter cannot be hacked. NVIDIA claims its cryptocurrency hash rate limiter, which is applied in software, not hospitals, unable to be bypassed. I don't really know much about this. This limiter being one intended to prevent miners from zealously chasing down graphics cards for use in blindly chipping away at cryptocurrency for a heady profit. I guess the worry for NVIDIA, which makes graphics cards, is that cryptocurrency miners were using the graphics cards and gamers couldn't get them. I don't really know much about this. This is the first I've heard about this. Any move NVIDIA can make to keep as many GPUs as possible in play for gamers will be absolutely welcomed by many. I guess the graphics cards can be used in cryptocurrency mining. I didn't know this. Underdog Rising says GPUs are the main component in mining cryptocurrency. Why is that? Why are graphics cards the main component in mining cryptocurrency? I had no idea. Is that by design because they're like expensive or something? Huh, it is. I did not know this. Investopedia, GPU usage in cryptocurrency mining. How do GPUs help in cryptocurrency mining? Cryptocurrency mining was originally performed using CPUs, or the central processing units. However, its limited processing speed and high power consumption led to limited output, rendering the CPU-based mining process inefficient. Enter GPU-based mining, which offered multiple benefits over the use of CPUs. A standard GPU has faster processing speed. It is this property of the GPU that makes them suitable and better for cryptocurrency mining, as the mining process requires higher efficiency in performing similar kinds of repetitive calculations. GPUs are also equipped with a large number of arithmetic logic units, which are responsible for performing mathematical computations. I did not know this. Rage King says they are better at complex computations. So That's interesting. So NVIDIA is a big graphics card company, and I guess they're concerned that gamers can't even get their graphics cards because people are using them to mine Bitcoin. So they created a new thing in their graphics cards where it limits how they can be used for cryptocurrency mining. That's very interesting. I had no idea. Hey, thank you, Sonic, for your support. Sonic says the GPU element is APT for the math. You can also search ASIC miners on Amazon. Hard for independent miners to compete, though. Thank you, Sonic. By the way, hold on a second. Is this stream? The stream is not hidden, by the way, still. That's promising. Something I wanted to test today as we do this broadcast is whether the stream would get hidden, but it has not been hidden yet. Rage King says it's so hard to get gaming video cards right now because of this. Wow. Manic Miner says pushed up the price of graphics cards and results in them being out of stock at this all the time. I had no idea this was going on. I had no idea. Maria B says, I just bought a gaming computer last night after spending several days trying to find one. I knew the GPUs were hard to find, but didn't realize it was related to Bitcoin. Wow, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Misty Blue says, my friend's son was mining Bitcoin. His electric bill was over $8,000 a month. Avoidsya says NVIDIA put no output ports on their mining cards, so miners buy normal cards, so they are resellable. So what they wanted to achieve was nulled by no ports. I don't get all of that, but thank you, Avoidsya, for writing it. Cryptician says, some people honestly believe cryptocurrency is the money of the future. Well, cryptocurrency itself could be more widely used, but we were talking about some specific issues that make Bitcoin itself hard to use as a currency. So maybe there'll be some other currency that comes out that people prefer. Bud Green says serious Bitcoin miners use many racks at data centers with many servers doing the mining. That's very interesting. I did not realize that graphics cards, which would be responsible for producing a computer graphics, were being used in Bitcoin mining. All right, so we have been here. We've been doing this this live news roundup. We haven't done one of these in a while, but basically the idea is we come on the air and we just talk about various news stories and we take your comments on them, which is what we've been doing today. But be aware that when we do this on YouTube, it's going to be on Agenda Free TV 2. So I actually have 2 channels on YouTube, not on the other platforms, but on YouTube I have 2 news channels. This one is Agenda Free TV 2, and this is where I've been doing the news roundups. So make sure if you want to see the news roundups, if you watch on YouTube, to subscribe to Agenda Free TV 2. Sometimes we do the news roundups and people say, "You're not on YouTube. What's going on?" But they don't know about Agenda Free TV 2. Cogito says there's a massive Bitcoin mining farm in Iceland. Darren, I haven't seen anything about the New York variant weakening the effectiveness of the vaccine more than other variants do. I haven't seen that. The Guardian. Blah, 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 blah. New variant in New York. Yeah, all I know about right now is it's another variant, and scientists are looking at it. I haven't seen any reporting that it affects the how the virus works more than other variants like the UK and Brazilian variant. I haven't seen any reports about that at all. Public health experts say more research is needed to determine whether these variants including this New York one and a California one, are indeed variants of concern. Public health experts largely agree that because there's so little data on the variants that have originated in the U.S. so far, they are considered variants of interest that would benefit from closer research and monitoring. This is from The Guardian from yesterday. Melissa McQueen likes this format. Hey, if you like this format and you want to support it, you can always make a donation by going to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. And also, hey, let's say a quick thanks to our moderators. They're awesome. They're all volunteers. Sarah Joy, Sarah55. And we have had Bud Green and Krista Borden, and also Idaho Star. Ellie Bourne, Duck Zor, Ken Picky, Tariag, all moderating too. But this, I think it's positive that we have that the YouTube, that we're still visible on YouTube, still searchable. I don't know that this has ever happened. I can't remember the last time we called it News Roundup and it wasn't accidentally hidden. So that's a positive sign. All right, let me just see if there's anything else I want to mention here while we're on the air for this. News World Right Now sent me this from Leong Y. Kit from Channel News Asia. Deaths from from today in Myanmar, 18. Death toll thus far, at least 24. And then the COVID Tracking Project just came out with their COVID numbers for the past day. 1,000 deaths. I don't know how that usually compares to Sundays, but I mean, there's been positive trends lately in the U.S., so let's hope that continues as more people get vaccinated. There's concerns, though, that as more people get like the UK variant, that more people will end up in the hospital. But these are the trends from COVID tracking projects. That's daily tests slower and then going up some, cases down then going up some, but tests going up. But you can see, so you can see here, like currently hospitalized is way down from, late January, but it's still near the peaks of the summer in the last spring and last summer. See, it's still near those peaks here, but it's way down from 130,000. Deaths per day on average is significantly down from, earlier this, January or so, but still right around the peak in the spring of last year. So hopefully as more people get vaccinated, everything will go down. There's a worry though that the UK variant is spreading and that a lot of people will get it over the next coming weeks before people have been vaccinated. So I did see that like a large number of the nation's older citizens have already been vaccinated, which is good. I think it's like 50 or 60% of people over 65 in the U.S. have been vaccinated. Let's see if I can find that. Let's see if I can find it. I definitely saw it earlier. I can't find it. I wish I could find it. But that'll make a big difference because those are the people, the older you get, that's the more likely you are to have issues, serious complications from getting the virus. So hopefully that makes a big difference. Hey, thank you, by the way, Dr. Fretlix. Hey, Dr. Fretlix, that's very kind of you. I really appreciate your support. Dr. Fretlix. Thank you, Dr. Fretlix. Hey, and also thanks to Timothy Roy Jr. That's very kind of you, Timothy Roy Jr. I really appreciate your support. Dr. Fretlix and Timothy Roy Jr., thank you. I'd like to do a live stream when I get the vaccine. I'll just have to see where I'm getting it. Have to see if they give me permission to do it. I'd love to do a live stream when I get vaccinated. It's just going to be up to wherever I get it done. If they say you can't live stream in here, I can't do it. Beth says, I'm feeling some side effect from the second dose I got yesterday, headache, low temperature, and just tired. Yeah, that can happen. There are some side effects people feel. I had a relative who got some side effects from the second dose, but she's feeling better now. But she's high risk. I mean, she's older. I'm very happy she got it because she's older and she has health conditions. So I'm very happy she got it. But I wish I had the numbers on the demographics of who's been vaccinated already. And I can't find it. I saw a post about that earlier. Our viewer Newsy says, I'm so worried about Nipah virus. Yeah, we talked about this like last week. Daily Express. Nipah virus alert. That is a... Well, this is not giving me much background. We read an article about this like last week on the air, 2 weeks ago. I mean, here's something from Bloomberg. That mentions it. Candidates to sicken the world in the future include highly virulent filoviruses, which include the Ebola and Marburg viruses, rapidly spreading mosquito-borne flaviviruses, such as those that cause Zika and dengue fever, and bat-borne paramyxoviruses like Nipah and Hendra. Hendra and Nipah lead to deadly brain swelling. I haven't read anything saying there's like imminent worry of Nipah pandemic, but I will certainly keep an eye out for more viruses. Stuart Paul Newby sent me this CTV News race against time, third wave of COVID feared as wildcard variants spread. Yeah, you know, these variants that, like the UK variant, spreads much faster than the early variants did. And so I'm sure when it says, this is from CTV News, I'm guessing race against time is they want to vaccinate as many people as possible before they get the variant. Fears are mounting. Canada could see a third wave of COVID infections as variants of the novel coronavirus spread to even remote regions of the country. Experts are concerned vaccinations won't be able to outpace the spread of coronavirus variants as parts of Canada slowly begin to reopen. So the more people getting vaccinated, the better. Hold on a second here. Misinformation. Had to remove somebody for misinformation. For vaccine misinformation. William Leonard says he farms crypto. It pays for itself in great profits. That's what William Leonard says. William Leonard says, I have an Ethereum farm and 4 PCs that rent hash power for Bitcoin in exchange. That's our viewer, William Leonard. Deadeye says, we already know we're not vaccinating everyone until July or August at the earliest. Now, I don't know what country Deadeye is in, but in terms of the U.S., I was looking at this today. If you look at the numbers, it's very possible that in the U.S., like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, sometime in April, especially late April, if it just generally got opened up to whoever wants to take it. Because if you just look at the numbers here, I saw this post today, which was helpful. Where is it here? This is from Ariel Mitropoulos, who's with ABC News. And it says expected timeline for COVID vaccine delivery, dose delivery. So by the end of April, there's supposed to be, by the beginning of April, by the end of March, 100 million Moderna doses, 120 million Pfizer doses, and 20 million Johnson & Johnson doses. This is single-dose vaccine. This is two-dose. So that's 130 million adults by the end, enough for 130 million adults by the end of March. And then if you look at this, this goes from 100 to 200 million from beginning of April to beginning of June, and 120 million to 200 million from the beginning of April to beginning of June. And then 20 million to 100 million from beginning of April to the beginning of July. So if you just do the math out, it kind of looks like just eyeballing it, that you could have by the end of April 200 million, enough vaccine available for 200 million adults in the US. There's about 280 million adults total in the US, and a bunch of people won't take it. So I'm just looking at this, I'm just eyeballing it. It seems realistic to think there might be 200 million people's worth of vaccine available in the US by the end of April. That to me would cover, if not all, most of the people who actually want to take it. I mean, 200 million out of 280 million is about 70%. So Diana L. says those expected amounts have never come to be, though. Yeah, I know what you're saying. The original projections, the amount sent out has been less than the original projections, but these numbers are like recently verified by the companies. This is not like some projection they made last year. These are based on recent projections by the companies. So I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if by sometime in late April that adults who want it can go get it. I'm hoping. Sharon says, I may actually cry when I can go out again and work without masks. Cool Cookie says, I'm okay waiting for my vaccine. So many others, teachers, health workers, restaurant folks, grocery workers, may be June for me. I don't know. I feel like if you look at these numbers, if the projections hold, it would be sooner than June. Now, of course, you take it, though, and then you have to wait several weeks to get full benefits. Underdog Rising says, as soon as we get a handle on spread and get vaccinated, the sooner we can get back to normal. Ol Raj says, people will take it if they want to work and travel. It's an interesting question about whether people who say they're not going to take it end up taking it because they just don't want to be kept out of places, including work. Hey, thanks to Linda Belk is moderating now too. Thanks, Linda. Thank you, Linda. Dubshin says, we had the third wave in Ireland, heard there is 2 other variants, the Finnish one and the Nigerian. I have not heard about those. Yeah, and as Montpelier points out, it's not clear whether people will still be recommended to wear masks even after they've, right now, there's been no, it's possible. The research is unclear about whether if you get vaccinated, there's no proof right now that if you get vaccinated, you have no chance of getting the virus and spreading it to somebody else, even if you don't get sick from it. So, I assume for the time being, the recommendation is going to be wear masks, even if you've gotten vaccinated. But maybe eventually that won't be the case. Katrina Jones says, I'm getting vaccinated at the forum next week. They are vaccinating teachers now. Then the New York Times had an article today about giant vaccination sites. I think you'll be seeing a lot more vaccination sites as the supply goes up. In quest for herd immunity, giant vaccination sites proliferate. With the nation's vaccine supply expected to swell over the next few months, states and cities are rushing to open mass vaccination sites capable of injecting thousands of shots a day into the arms of Americans, an approach the Biden administration has seized on as crucial to reaching herd immunity in a nation of 330 million. There's a couple stadiums not that far from me. I'm wondering if that might be where I end up getting it. The drive-through mass vaccination site on a defunct airstrip here in East Hartford shows the promise and the drawbacks of the approach. The site has become one of the state's largest distributors of shots since it opened 6 weeks ago. And its efficiency has helped Connecticut become a success story. That's in Connecticut right there. Troops supervise. Some troops National Guard troops are helping supervise there. A few dozen National Guard troops direct cars into 10 lanes, checking in people who have to make appointments in advance and making sure they have filled out a medical questionnaire. In between are the vaccinators, 2 per car lane, trading on and off between jabbing arms. When they need to warm up, they retreat inside heated trailers to draw up doses and fill out vaccination cards. Interesting. It's a drive-through clinic. People get the shot in the car. However, traffic can get snarled on the busy road leading to the site, and bad weather can shut it down. More significantly, you need to have a car, gas money, and for some elderly people, a driver to get to and from the site. Interesting. So, you're probably going to see more big sites popping up as there's more supply. Sam Patton says there will have to be a massive ad campaign for the 50% who refuse to get vaccinated. I don't know if it'll be that many, but it's going to be a fairly large number, I think, initially. Jay Kopak says, I got jabbed yesterday by a female Air Force member. Linda says, sounds like Connecticut has it organized. Oh, look at this, Ellie Bourne. Ellie Bourne sent a video. Ellie Bourne, I think, is one of our Twitch moderators, waiting at Portland mass vaccination site.
Started post-shot. Got my shot. Now I'm sitting in the wait 30-minute line because my brother's passed away 30 minutes. So I told him I'd wait 30 minutes too. So that's it. Started.
So Ellie Bourne has got his shot, and then they make you wait to make sure you don't have like a allergic reaction or any kind of negative reaction to it, right? So good job. That's Ellie Bourne. We got a video from Ellie Bourne, one of our mods. Cool. Beth Standard says we got our shot in the car. Alibaba says drive-through best way better than stuffing big groups in buildings to get one. Air quality over the day will go down in mass vac centers that are inside. Ann M thinks 35% of people will not initially get it. Nice job, Ellie Bourne. Oh, Ellie Bourne is actually in our Twitch chat right now. By the way, we have a debate going on about Bitcoin in our Twitch chat. A healthy debate. Ducksource seems to think it's a viable currency, whereas Fival2 says It is not a store of value because it's way too volatile and there's no value to store. Duxor says a currency has value when people agree it has value. A healthy debate about Bitcoin going on in our Twitch chat. Hold on a second. Roger. Oh, the mods already took care of it. Good job, mods. Oh, hold on a second here. I'm taking care of it. Sorry, just checking if there's any other updates here. All right. I think it might be getting close to that time when I need to eat something. We're getting close to the time when I need to eat something. Caesar Day said, I heard a tummy growling. Yeah, it's getting to be that time. So I think we might wrap up this news roundup stream. I think we're not hidden yet. Stream is not hidden. Wow. Amazing. It's a milestone. No, the last day for Periscope is at the end of March. Reed Israel says, I think Steve is hungry. Yeah, no, this is quite encouraging. I don't know when the last time is that we did a stream where it was news roundup and it wasn't hidden. About an hour in. So that's certainly very encouraging. I am very encouraged by this. I am surprised. So I appreciate you joining me for News Roundup. But a reminder, in addition to Agenda Free TV, and if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, the main news channel on YouTube is Agenda Free TV. You're watching on YouTube Agenda Free TV 2. So if you like this, subscribe to Agenda Free TV. There's also Agenda Free TV 2 on YouTube, only on YouTube. It's all one channel on the other platforms. And then my non-news channel is called Lookner. And so we sometimes do streams there when there's not much news going on. So if we may do a stream there tonight. Who knows? Who knows if we'll do one tonight? But that's Lookner. That's the non-news channel. That's only on YouTube. So feel free to subscribe to those channels. And if you do subscribe to any of the channels, remember on YouTube, click the notifications bell and choose all notifications. There's a bell and choose all. Oh, thank you, Reed Israel. Hey, Reed Israel, that's very kind of you. And thank you, Reed Israel, and everybody else who donated. That's so nice of you. I very much appreciate it. You are the ones, your support is what allows me to do news coverage. So very much appreciate that. That's very nice of you guys. Thank you. And that includes the Facebook stars and the Super Hearts as well. Oh, Star Fowler. I missed it. Star Fowler gave Facebook stars. I thanked Janet McLaughlin, but I didn't. I missed Star Fowler. Thank you, Star Fowler, if you're still watching. I appreciate that. Hey, big thanks to our moderators. Lizzie FTW. Thank you, Lizzie. Sarah Joy. Sarah 55. Maria B. The moderators are all volunteers. So let's give it up for them. Great work by the moderators. They were all over it in the chats today on the different platforms. Linda Belk, Krista Borden, Bud Green. Then all the Twitch moderators. Yeah, I was looking at the chats and the moderators were on top of it. Duckzor, Ellieborn, Kin Picky, Idaho Star. All right. And hey, subscribe to the channels. Follow me on Twitter for news updates, at Lookner on Twitter. That's why I post breaking news updates, at Lookner on Twitter. And the best way to get notified when we're coming on the air, the best way is to sign up for the Discord notifications. That'll get you notifications for all my channels. It's free. It's really reliable. If you have the Discord app on your phone, it pops up on your phone when I'm coming on the air. So that's really easy. It's at the bottom of the YouTube video description. It says it gives the Discord link, and also the mods can post that as well. But be sure to sign up for the Discord notifications. That'll give you notifications for all my channels. All right. And hey, thank you guys. A lot of really interesting comments and questions. Thank you. This is an interactive news roundup, and a lot of great input from you guys during the stream today. So thank you. Thanks to all of our viewers. Jay Kopak, thanks for watching. Misty Blue, Ol Raj, Dubshin, Goffberg, Rachel Rich. Rachel Rich mentions Governor Sisolak wants blockchain zones. I might have to read up more on that. Thank you, Rachel Rich, for watching. Lab Golden, Dragon Lee, Dogs Rule, Cats Drool, and our other Periscope viewers. Thanks to all of our Periscope viewers. Thanks to our Twitch viewers. BF Simon from Denmark. So cool, watching from Denmark. Variety Music Station. Avoidsia. QQ Wist. Montpelier. Montpelier's in 2 chats. Deadeye. Smooth Operator. Cinnamon Frosted Pecans. Cryptician. Fivaltu, and all of our Twitch viewers. Thanks for everybody watching on Twitch. Thanks to our Facebook viewers. Nicolette Geese. William Leonard. William Leonard says, I'm high risk, was given a code from Illinois for my turn, but they haven't gotten to the high risk phase yet. They'll probably be soon. Elizabeth Scott says they should open up the viruses for everyone, especially for the working class. Well, hopefully soon, more and more people will get to take it, but they're trying to prioritize the people most at risk. But yeah, the more the better. Right now, it's just a question of there's a limited supply, unfortunately. Thanks for your input and for watching, Elizabeth Scott. Different states are doing it differently, too. Thanks to the rest of our Facebook, Helene Bemis and Audrey Hoffman Burbank and Terry Stacy and the rest of our Facebook viewers. Thank you for watching. And thank you to our YouTube viewers, Lauren Isquox, Sam Patton, Kimmy Rose, Roland from Sweden, Stuart Paul Newby, Ann Andy, Salon Girl, Rhonda Reynolds, Melissa McQueen, Cranky Poodle, C. Michelle Sparks, Best Standard, Joe Hart, Lynn Smith. Did I say Lynn Smith? Ricky Field, Darren Markley, Denise Horton, Rita's Real, Brainy Janie, Ed Novak, a Twitch link. I'll post a Twitch link in YouTube. Twitch. I think it's just Agenda Free TV. What is it? Twitch.tv/Agenda Free TV. Try this one. I bet that'll work. Twitch. Hold on. Twitch. /Agenda Free TV. Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. I'll post the link to the Twitch in our YouTube. I just posted it. Seize the Day. Thanks for watching. Seize the Day. Hapa Hanguk. Thank you. Cell Games. Yes, Kathy Griffin. I got to write her and thank her. Clint Templeton. Cell Games says Kathy Griffin was really effective. Madison G. Sean C. Katrina Jones. C. Michelle Sparks. Best Standard, and everybody else who was watching in YouTube. All right, guys. That is it for now. Selena Vibes, thanks for watching as well. That is it for now. If there's big news tonight, we will come back on the air and cover the news. And maybe we'll do a stream on one of the other channels. We'll see. We will see. And thanks, Newsy, for watching as well. All right, guys. That's it for now. Thanks so much for watching the broadcast, and we will see you soon with more live news coverage here on Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2.